my dad used to abuse me as a child, and now I'm expected to take care of him because he, has dementia. And I'm still so angry. Those kinds of things. It's very common in terms of, the clients that I have seen. So I've kind of always wondered what I would do in that situation. And it was a very different situation. And so I can't say that my parents were abusive toward me. So, but there's still pain there. And, that turned into resentment. Nada, that turned into resentment where it wasn't just the teenager saying it. It was the adult saying to my mom, Mom, I'm a mom now. And I cannot imagine ever giving my child to you to raise. Like, there's nothing that would cause me to not want to be with my child. And she would say, things like, oh, do we have to talk about that? Or, things like that. And so I never had an opportunity to just have an adult conversation with my mom about it. Mm-hmm. And I recognized that, we were both in pain. And it felt very invalidating to not have an opportunity to say to my mom or to hear her say, it was hard. That wasn't an easy decision. Because, Nada, I didn't even realize, the part that I forgot to say is I didn't even realize that I lived with my grandmother since I was a baby. I thought that I had moved in with my grandmother when my parents got divorced. And it was only a conversation not that long ago that my aunt had with me. And she said, oh, I remember where your crib used to be. And I said, wait, what do you mean my crib? And she said, yeah, you lived with grandma since you were like a baby. And I had no idea. And that really, really hurt me because I thought, I know what it feels like to be a mom. And how could she have parted with me? However, Nada, what has happened now is, with her having dementia, and even before, she's frail, she's getting older. She has a very strong personality. So it's never just been about, that choice and that decision she had to make. But it's also, she has a really strong personality. So she'll say, I want this. So, you want to please mom, and I get her this. And she said, no, I don't want that. I want this. And so I just always felt like I was never enough, or whatever I did was never enough to make her happy. Yeah. And I'm, and again, triggering those old feelings as a child of I'm not good enough to be with my family, right? Which happens. Right. So that has caused this really strained relationship between my mom and I. But now that she's getting older, and I see how fragile she is, and when she got dementia, which came really quickly over just the last few months, I've been able to have empathy and compassion for her in a way that I have not been able to before. And so what it has allowed me to do is to work on forgiving her. And what has made me sad, Nada, and I was explaining to a friend that I wish I had had the courage to forgive her while she still understood. So that we can have a conversation about it. But my friend, who is someone that he's just he's my spiritual brother, as I call him. And he said something very beautiful. And he said to me, your mom's mind can't understand you, but you're talking spirit to spirit. Yeah. And her spirit will. And that is going to help her spirit heal. And it will help you too. Yeah. And he couldn't have been more right, because it was only maybe 4 weeks ago before she got really sick. She was still able to talk. She would forget some things, but then she'd come back. And I found the moment when she came back, and I said, "Mom, I just want you to know that I forgive you." And she said, "You forgive me? Forgive me for what?" And I said, "For everything, Mom, for being imperfect, just like I am imperfect. And I just want you to know that you did your best, and that as a parent, you had the best intentions." And I said, and I can't remember how she kind of, she went out and then she came back in, and she looked at me and she said, "Are you talking about when you were little?" And I said, "Yeah, Mom." And I said, "When you left me with Grandma." And she was coloring because she loves to color these days. And she looked at me and she said, "That was really hard for me."
Oh.
And I said, "I know that. I know that, Mom." And I said, "And I know. And I just want you to know that that was the best thing you could have done for me. Thank you. Because Grandma was really good to me."
Yeah.
And there was healing in that, Nita, for both of us.
Yeah. Oh my God. It just breaks my heart and it fills me with joy at the same time. The struggles and the pain, and then to have this moment to be able to tell your mom that you forgive her and that she's able to share with you that it was so hard for her too. And I love what your friend says, because I believe that so much to be true, that
Yes.
her mind doesn't hear it, but her spirit does, her heart does. And
Yes.
it's all love. It's all love. And when we can be in that place, how it allows your mother to be in a different place while she is transitioning, and while you're transitioning as a human into a new phase of your life and a new evolution of your own becomingness because of this time that is happening with your
Yes.
mom, and that you have your mom with you. And there's just such, I believe, just such divine love and guidance and strength and all of that.
Absolutely, Nita. Absolutely.
Oh man. Oh, Terese, there's so many things that I want to ask you, and we're going to run out of time. So,
Okay.
are you comfortable if we can just wrap this one up today and then come back and continue this conversation for next week? Would you be willing to do that with me?
I would love to.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, because I have so many things that I want to ask you. And I know that um, you just have such a powerful story, and on so many levels. It's just not this or that or that. It's all of these stairs of all of these things that have made you the beautiful human being that you are,
Thank
and
you.
how you can help other people. Being a therapist, absolutely, for sure, but being able to help other people, just to hear that, oh my gosh, look at what she has gone through. And if she can do that, then it gives me permission to be able to start healing myself, or maybe forgive my parent also, and allow that opportunity, and maybe be able to, um, I believe you had said, to have the courage to forgive her while she understood it better. And maybe somebody else is able to do that just because you're here sharing this story, and how powerful that is.
And Nita, let me just add one thing. I've
Yeah.
also, in this process, have had to forgive myself.
Yeah.
And that is usually harder for people to do. We're usually more empathic and compassionate toward others than we are toward ourselves. And so I would
Absolutely.
love the opportunity to share that as well.
Yeah. So when we come back, let's start off with how it is that you had to forgive yourself, and how this opportunity allowed that, or how this became an opportunity to allow you to do that.
Okay, thank you.
I would love that. Oh, Terese, thank you so very much. And all of Teresa's information will be in the show notes. She is located in Chicago. And I guess I didn't even ask you if you're still working. Are you taking new clients right now, Terese, or no?
I am not. I will be relocating to Portland, hopefully in the next a few months. And so I will be reestablishing myself there.
Okay. Okay. All right. So awesome. So your contact information will be in the show notes. So anybody who needs to reach out to you while you're in beautiful Portland, that'll be fabulous.
Yes, definitely. And while I'm still here in Chicago, I'm doing some virtual work. So that would be fine too.
Okay. All right. So I'll have that information posted on the show notes. So Terese, thank you so much. And then we're gonna come back next week and continue this conversation. And for the listeners, I know that you are pulling out, oh my God, just healing. There's just so much healing that takes place in this conversation. And so please be sure to join us next week for part 2, so you get to hear how Terese is able to forgive herself and the work that's taking place with that. So as always, much love to you and have a beautiful week. And we'll see you back here next week. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.